Hey, what's up everyone? 𝐒𝐎𝐂𝐈𝐀 back with another video, and today is going to be another very important topic that I usually get asked a lot in the comment section, is that should you get a vehicle whenever you join the military? What type of vehicle should you get? Is it okay to get a sports car? Is it okay to get that new Mustang, Camaro, or anything like that whenever you hit the fleet? Is your finances enough to cover it? We're going to be going over all those different topics in this video and just break it down piece by piece for you. Now we're going to be going over why you shouldn't get a vehicle when you get the fleet, why you should, and then at the very end of the vehicle, we're going to be breaking down, if you've already made up your mind to get a vehicle, the many different things that you need to look over to make sure that it's actually a smart choice for you. So before we dive into this, thank you so much for the constant support on this channel. We're already at 27,000 subscribers, and we're already creeping closer to 28,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate the support. Just if you see this video and you enjoy it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way you can see future videos from this channel and continue to see the content just grow and grow. And thank you so much, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. For the top 3 reasons why you shouldn't be getting a vehicle whenever you first hit the fleet in the Marine Corps or any military branch in general, there's 3 things that I'd like to go over of why you shouldn't, why I recommend you just wait it out, maybe wait like a year before you purchase a vehicle, get your finances situated, actually put money aside, actually save like 30-50% of your paychecks before you actually think about purchasing a vehicle. And that's what the first one is the financial aspect. So whenever you first hit the fleet, you're not going to be making that much money as an E1, E2, or E3. It's going to be very difficult for you to keep up with constant payments that come with purchasing a vehicle. So if you purchase a vehicle, you're really young, you're gonna have to pay for, you're gonna have to make those car payments, you're gonna have to pay for insurance. Your insurance is gonna be really high, especially if you're young. And then also the gas prices are really insane right now. I recently just went to Pendleton. The gas on base in Pendleton is $5.99. If you go and get gas anywhere off of base, it's in the $6.50, almost $7 range in Southern California. So, and even in Yuma, it's $4.85 on base right now. So gas is insane. Car payments are insane. It's going to be a lot to keep up if you're brand new into the fleet. So what I recommend is you just wait about a year into the fleet, try to save some money, put money aside, save half of your paychecks, and actually gear up towards being able to purchase a vehicle. And then for the second one of why you shouldn't purchase a vehicle in the military is it's going to be easy access on military bases. It's going to be a lot easier than if you're in the civilian sector and everything's farther away. If you're on a military base most of the time, you're going to have an MCX or whatever exchange your branch provides very close. You're going to have a commissary very close, and you're going to have the chow hall right next to you for those of you that are not married. So in that sense, it's not that bad if you don't have a vehicle, because everything's really close to you. Especially like in Yuma, it's a very small base. Everything is very close to you, and you don't really need that much, and you don't have to have a vehicle to get around. Pretty much everything is in walking distance. And now for the third reason is you're always gonna have a buddy or a coworker that's gonna be willing to pick you up, take you to work so that you don't have to walk. This happened to me when I first hit the fleet, and most of the time I had a buddy or someone that I worked with that was willing to pick me up from the barracks and take me to work before I got my vehicle back from home. So there's always going to usually be someone there to help you, pick you up. That way you don't have to walk to work. Or if you need to go to the exchange or anything and you don't want to walk there, a lot of times you can just ask someone else. Now that we've covered all the reasons why you shouldn't get a vehicle, now I'm going to cover a few reasons why you should actually get a vehicle, and if this pertains to you. So for the first one of why you should actually get a vehicle whenever you join the military is so you stay out of the barracks. Now, a lot of people, I find it to whenever they don't have a car and they don't have transportation, a lot of places, they tend to stay in the barracks, play video games, and not really do that much, not really stay active, not go out with friends or anything like that. Now you obviously, if you have buddies and stuff that are gonna drive you around, you can always get around this, but if you actually have your own car, you're actually going to be more likely to get out of the barracks, actually do things, go see movies, actually go hang out with people, and it will be a lot better to clear your mind so that way you're not really depressed in the barracks and you don't have anything to do. I definitely recommend it for that reason, because whenever I got my vehicle back from my hometown, it was a lot easier for me to actually go out and do things. I was able to actually drive to California, actually go to San Diego, visit big cities and stuff like that, and actually just explore more. And then for the second reason why you should get a vehicle in the military, for me, would just be that you're not reliant on people. A lot of times, this can be a personal thing. You don't want to ask people to help you. You don't want to ask people to drive you around, and you don't want to ask favors constantly. So that's a big thing for me. I don't really like to ask people to take me anywhere or take me to go to the MCX and stuff like that. I want to do stuff myself. So having a vehicle was a lot easier for me to actually be reliant only on myself. And that way I can just do my thing, anything I need to do on my own and not have to rely on anybody. Then for the third one, it's just gonna be straight up, you're becoming an adult, you need to get a vehicle. This kind of pertains to the last one of just not being reliant on people. I'm not trying to pick on anyone in this aspect, but if it's just been too long, you've already become an NCO, you're a corporal or a sergeant, and you've been in the fleet for a long time, and you've had plenty of opportunities to save money and save your paychecks, you kind of need to just grow up and actually work towards purchasing a vehicle and using your own means of transportation and not relying on other people. I know this pertains a lot to the last one, but it's a really big thing. I feel like if you're 25 years old, 24 years old, and you're already established E4 or E5, you need to start actually looking into getting your own vehicle. That doesn't mean you have to get an expensive vehicle. It can be a really cheap $4,000 or $5,000 vehicle, but by that time in your career that you've been in for 2 to 3 years, you should have been responsible enough to actually save up the money to start looking towards doing that and actually getting a vehicle yourself. Okay guys, so now that we've covered why you shouldn't get a vehicle or why you should get a vehicle in the fleet, now that we've covered those two main topics, now something I'd like to speak of is if you've already made your decision on getting a vehicle, you already want to, I'm gonna go over a few reasons or a few topics that you need to look over to ultimately decide what vehicle you're gonna get, why you should get it, interest rates, stuff like that, things that you need to consider beforehand. So let's go ahead and go over those. Now, the very first thing I recommend is establishing a credit score early on. Years in advance would be the ideal situation, but if you're already late to the party, you might want to, a year beforehand, before you get that car, maybe once you hit the fleet, get a credit card and actually establish a credit score. Now, you want to make sure you're actually being safe with it, not using that credit card like crazy and going in debt and ultimately damaging your credit score. You want to be responsible with that credit card and actually build that credit in a positive manner. This will really help you with your APR whenever you decide to purchase a vehicle. Now, APR is your annual percentage rate whenever you purchase your vehicle. It's just a percentage based on how much you're gonna have to pay. It depends on your credit, your dealership, anywhere you go, but you wanna make sure that you're not doing something insane. Like you'll often hear people in the military, they hit the fleet, they go buy a Mustang or a Camaro, and their APR is somewhere crazy, like 18, 20, 25%. You wanna really avoid this and actually build your credit. That way you get the best APR possible. And now for the second one, this is something that I specifically recommend, is get a vehicle that is fuel efficient. So as you've seen, gas is at an insane rate right now. $6 in California, sometimes $7, $6 in most states, $5. You really can't find gas cheaper than $4.50 nowadays. So what I recommend is getting a fuel efficient vehicle. That way you're not spending an insane amount of money on gas because your vehicle is very inefficient. Now, to avoid this, a lot of times it's better to get something like a Honda Civic, a Toyota Camry. A lot of vehicles like this are very fuel efficient and oftentimes the best to buy if you want to save money. And now for the third and final one, this definitely directly correlates with the last one regarding fuel efficiency, and this is going to be about insurance payments. And you should definitely go with something like a Honda Civic, like I said in the last one, or a Toyota Camry. Oftentimes these vehicles aren't going to be as expensive for insurance. Now, if you go with a sports car or a luxury vehicle, your insurance payments are going to be a lot higher. You're at higher risk of crashing, and your vehicle is going to be a lot more expensive to repair, so your insurance payments are going to be way worse. It's going to be very difficult for you to pay this and make this insurance payment, this car payment, and spend all this money on gas. So if you're a new service member, I definitely recommend you to actually take this advice I'm giving you and actually be smart with what vehicle you decide to purchase. Be smart with your actual interest rates, what vehicle it is. Just stop and think about, before you buy like a Mustang or a Camaro, if you can actually afford this, if you're able to actually afford it over time. One main rule that I like to integrate is, if I'm going to purchase something, I better have twice as much money as it's worth. So if you're going to buy a $25,000 car, you should have $50,000 in the bank before you make that purchase. That's just something that I use to save money, that I use before I make investments or purchase a vehicle or anything like that. I like to have double the amount. Whenever I purchased my car, I made sure that I had double the amount of money. That way I'm in a safe and secure position financially afterwards. That way, if there's any emergency where you need to have money as a backup, you have that money off to the side to where you can buy another vehicle immediately in case something bad happens. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for the constant growth on this channel. Thank you so much for getting closer and closer to 28,000 subscribers. I hope you all enjoyed it. Now have an amazing week.